Welcome to this first update video. This update video is sponsored by No Location. And if you want to organize a conference or a workshop in Bali, then No Location is the only service you need in order to get your group there. No Location can organize everything for you, including accommodation, food, group activities, and your conference venue. They have different packages ranging from hippie to corporate, or they can tailor the experience to fit exactly your group. And it's an awesome company, so please check them out. But now, let me show you what I have been working on for these first 2 weeks. And a lot of it has focused on designing wheels for my robot. And I have been 3D printing a lot. It's been a lot of fun. This was my first prototype for a wheel, kind of like a skateboard wheel. And one thing that I learned is how exact actually 3D printing is. So this wheel, in this wheel I want to fit a ball bearing. And I have a ball bearing, it's 28 millimeters, the outer diameter. So I printed my wheel to have a diameter of 28 millimeters, and yeah, it doesn't fit the first iteration. So I experimented a little bit, and I found the sweet spot to be 0.2 millimeters bigger. So I have like a second version, and now the ball bearing fits just perfectly. So that's what it takes, like a few experiments to get it right. And that's the awesome thing about 3D printing. It's really this iterative process you can have. Another thing that I wanted to work on was to get the wheel to actually sit on something so it could spin, kind of like this. And my first naive approach was to use a bolt, but I came to realize that the problem with a bolt is that it's actually threaded, so there will be a lot of wiggle. What I need to use instead is an axle, and then can have a much better fit and get the ball bearing to fit just perfectly on the axle. Second thing is that if it was a bolt, it's easy to get the bolt to fit here because you can just use a nut. But what if you have just an axle? And then I learned that there is something called an axle collar or a shaft collar. But that's a bit of a special kind of component. And since I want the robot to be possible to build with cheap and available materials, I needed to find a way to 3D print this shaft collar. And let me show you how it works. So that's the axle. This is the shaft collar, and it fits like that, if you can see. And then it has little holes for screws there. But since you're now just screwing into the plastic, yeah, it doesn't really work. So I came up with another design for a shaft collar, and my shaft collar now looks something like this. So it has a screw and a nut. You can fit it like so and tighten this screw and nut, and then suddenly you'll have an axle that sits perfectly. So that took a few iterations, and it's really a little detail just to get a wheel to sit on something, but I guess that's engineering. I'm a software developer. I've developed software applications before, and it's been a really interesting experience because it is kind of the same thing. It's like the same brain, same part of my brain that gets activated when thinking about how to do these different things. But it's slightly different, so that's why I like it. With the shaft colors and with everything, I have a design that looks like this. This is where the rail will go for the robot, and it will sit like this onto the rail. This is the platform that later will hold the arm. But for now, that's all it has. I also want to show the first version of the rail that I have so far. It looks like this, no? And this thing can then you can slide this on like that. And I have to say that I'm quite pleased with the way that this rolls back and forth here. It rolls pretty much without any friction at all. And then also I'm noticing that you can't really move this. You cannot move it up or down or left or right. So it sits pretty much where it should sit. So that's as far as I've come so far. I've already discovered like several things that can be improved or that needs to be improved with the first design, but I get that's what it's all about. That's iterations. So I'll keep iterating and I'll keep you updated about how it goes. Thank you.